Hello all, this is Hasiba. Welcome to today's session on optimization via simulation. So far we have discussed under module 5 we have discussed about what do we mean by verification, what is validation, what is calibration, right? And we have discussed two important topics in the last video session about iterative process of calibrating a model and the Naylor-Finger approach, right? So Naylor-Finger approach we have studied about the three steps, right? So in order to improve to have the high face validity, right? So in order to handle the input and output transformation, and also in order to validate the model assumptions, right? As you can see here, the three steps of Naylor and Finger approach are: we have to build a a model with a high face validity. We have to validate the model assumptions, where we discussed about two types of assumptions: structural assumption and data assumptions. And finally we saw about how to compare the model's input and output transformation with the corresponding input and output transformation of the real system. So in today's session, let us discuss our next topic, which is optimization via simulation, right? So the meaning and the goal of optimization via simulation is to minimize or maximize some measures of system performance. That means whenever I am constructing any simulation model, right, I should make sure that the cost is less, right? So the delay, yeah, in that particular simulation model should be less and performance should be high, right? So that is why it means that we have to minimize or maximize some measures of system performance. For example, like a cost should be minimized, delay should be minimized, whereas the performance of the system should be maximized, right? And the system performance can be evaluated only by running a computer simulation. So this is what we mean by optimization via simulation. Optimization via simulation means to minimize or maximize the system performance parameters, and also the system performance we can evaluate only by running a computer simulation, right? As we know, any algorithm or any research, right, the main goal or the main key tool is to optimize it, right? So optimization is a key tool that is basically used by the operation researchers and management scientists, and there are well developed algorithm for many classes of problems, right? So the most famous optimization algorithms for simulation is by using your linear programming approach, right? So as we know, linear programming is nothing but one after the other we will be evaluating each and every component of a system. That is what we mean by linear programming approach. So as we know that in a discrete event system simulation, the result of any simulation is a random variable, right? So if you take any type of discrete event system, so far we have discussed about so many types of binomial, exponential, all those things, right? So everywhere we are, the output is actually a random variable, right? So for example, if I say let x1 and x2 so on up to xm be the m controllable design variables, right? And let y of, so y is nothing but here outcome, right, or output, and let y of x1 x2 x so on up to xm be the observed simulation output performance on one run, right? So x1 x2 so on up to xm are the input variables, right? And y is a variable, capital Y is a variable which keeps track of their output performance. For example, right, so we are taking one example here of material handling system, right? So material handling system is an in this particular system, right? So what engineers will do is they need to design a material handling system that consists of large automated storage and retrieval devices, right? So we know large automated storage and retrieval devices, right? So we have automated guided vehicles, right? So AGVs, then we have AGV stations, lifters and conveyors, right? So all these are a part of our material handling system. So among the design variables, right, so the input variables considered here are the number of AGVs, how many vehicles we are using, right, the load per AGV, and the routing algorithm that is basically used in order to dispatch the AGV. So the three input variables considered are the number of AGVs, the load per the load per AGV, and the routing algorithm that is basically used to dispatch the AGV, right? So in order to, so we have represented here these three variables are x1, x2 and x3. So where x1 denotes the number of AGVs, x2 is denoting the load per AGV, and x3 will be displaying the routing algorithm that is basically used to dispatch the automated guided vehicles respectively. So in the in this example MHS, we have to observe the output performance of these three variables. Therefore, I write it as y of x1, x2, x3, right? So this particular output performance, it can be based on the total MHS acquisition and operation cost. That means they are taking these input as variables, right? So I am performing a simulation in order to see what is the total acquisition, total material handling system acquisition, right? And what is the operation cost of this particular system, right? So this is one example for optimization via simulation. So what does it mean to optimize, right? So optimize means we have to either maximize or minimize the outcome, right? So the meaning of optimizing y of x1 so on up to xm with respect to the input variables x1 to xm is where y is a random variable. So we cannot optimize the actual value of y, right? So since a y is the output, right? So and we know that any simulation system, the output is a random variable. So we cannot directly optimize a random variable. So we write it as we are optimizing the expectation of the random variable, right? So the most common definition of optimization is defined as maximize or minimize the expectation of the output performance of the input variables x1 to xm, right? So I repeat, so what do we mean by optimizing? Optimizing means we are we are taking the output of these particular random variables or the input variables. So y of x1, x2 so on up to xm, right? So we know that the output of a simulation is a random variable and we cannot optimize the actual value of I, so actual value of y, right? So since we cannot optimize the actual value of y, we will be optimizing the expectation of y of x1 to xm. So we e of y of x1 to xm. So the definition of optimization is maximize or minimize the expectation of y of x1, x2 so on up to xm. So in other words, we say the mathematical expectation or the long run average or of performance is maximized or minimized, right? So mathematical expectation, or it is also called as the long run average of the performance, is maximized or minimized. So in MHS example, right, the previous example, we had the expectation of y of x1, x2, x3 is the expected or long run average cost of the operating of MHS with x1 AGV, these are the number of vehicles, x2 is the load per AGV, and the routing algorithm is the x3, right? So example MHS, while y of x1, x2, x3 is what? Y of x1, x2, x3 is the total MHS acquisition and the operation cost, right? So as discussed previously, so the output or the output performance is we are finding the performance based on the how far this particular material handling system is used, right? So acquisition of it and the cost of operation of that particular system. So that is my y, right? So and I am performing the mathematical expectation of this particular thing, right? So this is what we mean by optimization. Checking whether the expectation, mathematical expectation, is maximum or minimum, right? So maximize or minimize e of y of x1, x2 so on up to x3. This is called as optimization, right? So as we know, optimization algorithm, right? So optimization of any system, right, is difficult. The same way optimization via simulation is also difficult, right? So why it is difficult? Because even when there is no uncertainty, optimization can be very difficult because sometimes the number of design variables is large. The number of input variables what we are considering, right, so will be large for larger system. So the problem also can contain a diverse collection of design variable types, right? So we might have different types of variables, right? So a diverse collection of design variable types, and where a little is known about the structure of the performance function, right? So when our input design variables are more, right, and it contains a diverse collection of design variable types, and we have very little information about the structure of the performance, right, about the system, then it is very difficult to optimize such a system. And optimization via simulation, it adds an additional complication, right? So what is that additional complication? Additional complication is the performance of a particular design, it cannot be evaluated exactly, right? So we are not telling that this particular system is very good, right, or it is it is not, right? So the performance cannot be evaluated exactly, but instead we are estimating here. We are having some expectation, or estimation is what we are doing, right? So but instead it is estimated. So because we have estimates, it is not possible to conclude with the assurance that one design is better than another, right? And this uncertainty frustrates optimization algorithms that try to move in improving directions, right? So yes or no, since our result itself is an estimate, right? So based on this estimation, we cannot conclude that one design is better than the other, right? So and this particular uncertainty, right, so it makes the optimization algorithms, it makes the this uncertainty, it actually frustrates the optimization algorithms, which are basically used in order to improve the in order to make the decisions, right? So but still we have few algorithms which are used for optimization via simulation. The algorithms that are used for optimization via simulation are: the first step, the first type of algorithm is guarantee a pre-specified probability of current selection. That means, right, so guarantee a pre-specified probability of current selection. That means I'm telling that whatever procedure I'm selecting, that is the best procedure, right? So the example for this is select the best procedure is an example of this approach, which allows the analyst to specify the desired chances of being right, right? So we are telling that whatever procedure we are following for optimization, the procedure what we have followed itself is correct, right? So that is the first type of algorithm, select the best procedure. Next next type of optimization algorithm is guaranteeing the asymptotic convergence, right? So you have already studied different types of asymptotic notations like big O, big omega, and big theta, right? So the same way any optimization algorithm you take, right, so it will have three types of complexities, right? So like the best complexity, worst complexity, and average complexity, right? So the same way those type of algorithms, right, by making use of the asymptotic convergence, they guarantee the convergence to global optimal solution, that as the simulation effort becomes infinite, right? So whenever you have to go for any simulation algorithms, right, so we say that you will be considering the asymptotic convergence. These are the next set of algorithms which are considered. Okay, the third type of optimization algorithms are robot heuristics, right? So heuristic means you are trying to find something on yourself, right? So the most common algorithm, this is the most robot heuristic approach is the most common algorithm approach that is basically used for optimization via simulation. It basically uses randomness as a part of its search strategy, right? So in robot heuristic approach, we are basically using randomness as a part of its strategy. So what is this robot heuristic approach, right? So by a robot heuristic approach, we mean that a procedure which does not depend on a strong problem structure, right, such as continuity or convexity of expectation of y of x1 to xm to be effective, right? So that means here heuristic means the systems are trying to learn based on themselves, right? So that is what we mean by a heuristic, right? So robust heuristic, robust means you are trying to improve your optimization, right? So robust, the robust heuristic, it means a procedure which will not depend on a particular type of problem structure, right, to be effective, but it can also be applied to problems with mixed type of decision variables, right? So here the decision variables are not same, right? So we can have different types of decision variables, and using those decision variables, the system tries to learn by itself, right? So and it will tell that this particular solution is better, or this is the optimized solution of the system, right? So the basic example of robot heuristic approach are genetic algorithms and taboo search algorithms. These are the two examples for your robot heuristic approach, right? So what is this robot heuristic approach? It says that, say for example, suppose there are k possible solution to the optimization via simulation problem, right? So suppose we have the k possible solution, k solutions are there for the optimization via simulation problem, and let x is equal to, capital X is equal to x1 to x2 so on up to xk. It denotes the solution where the ith solution is what, xi is equal to xi1 xi2 so on up to xim. It provides the specific setting for the m decision variables, right? So we have one on a set capital X, right? So which is consisting of the solutions, right? So it denotes the number of solution where ith solution, that is xi. If I take x1, this x1 will be considered is the solution for the input variables x1 to xi1 to xim, right? I repeat, this x1, whatever we are taking, this x1 is the solution for which it is the solution. This is the solution for the input variables which are xi1 xi2 so on up to xim, so which provides the specific settings for the m decision variables. So the simulation output at the solution xi, so the output of this particular simulation at xi, that is x1, right? So we denote it by as capital Y of x1. So always a Y of x1, if I write, that means it is the output of that particular solution, right? So this could be the output of a single replication or the average of several replications. So our goal is mainly to find the solution x star that minimizes the expectation of Y of x, right? So they were trying to find such a solution, right, which is an optimal solution. So optimal solution means it should be very fast, right? So the cost should be less, the delay should be less, all those things, right? So we are trying to find the optimal solution is nothing but the most feasible solution, right? So our goal is to find the most feasible solution, which is denoted by x star, such that it minimizes the expectation of Y of x, right? So let us discuss the two algorithms, genetic algorithms and tabu search algorithm. This is the overall concept of your Robert heuristic approach. So coming to the first one, which is called as genetic algorithms, right? So on each iteration, how it works, on each iteration, it is known as a generation. A GA operates on a population of P solutions. That means for the given input variables, right? So we are considering a set of solutions which are called as the called here as the population of P solution, and we did try to denote the population of the solution on jth iteration. On every iteration, on every jth iteration, the population is denoted by P of j, right? So capital P of j is the set which consists of population of solution for the input, right? So what is the input variable I have? X1 of j, X2 of j, so on up to Xp of j, right? So and there may be multiple copies of the same solution P of j, and P of j may contain solution that were discovered on previous iterations, right? So that means I can have multiple copies of the same solution, right? So because it is population of solution, that means there are so many solutions, there is a chance of repeatable solution or multiple copies of the same solution, or we can say there are chances of replication of the solution, right? So from iteration to iteration, this population evolves in such a way that the good solution tend to survive and they give birth to new and hopefully better solutions, while inferior solutions tend to be removed from the population, right? So what we are doing in genetic algorithm is, it is very simple, right? So the concept is, for every iteration we are generating a population of solution, right? So that particular population of solution I'm denoting it as P of j, and since it is a collection of solution, right, so I can have multiple copies of the same solution, right? So there might be replication of the solution. So what we do is, from iteration to iteration, right, so we will be examining the population of solution in such a way that we will try to extract the good solution, right? So the good solutions, they tend to survive and they give birth to new and hopefully a better solution, right? So we'll make sure that the good solutions are survived and they will give birth to new and better solution, whereas those solutions which are inferior, the inferior solutions, they are removed from the population. So this is the concept of your genetic algorithm. So let us see the algorithm. So the algorithm goes like this, right? So basic genetic algorithm. So the first step is what? Set the iteration counter j equal to 0 and select an initial population of P solution, right? So the first step is, we are taking one counter variable j, because we have population of j solution. So set the iteration counter j equal to 0 and we'll select an initial population of P solutions as P of 0 is equal to x1 of 0, so on up to xp of 0. Then I will run the simulation experiment in order to obtain the performance estimates, right? So we have to run the simulation in order to find out the performance estimate of Y of x, right? So estimates of Y of x for all the P solution x of j in P of j. For all these solutions, we have to run the simulation, right? So next, select a population of P solutions from those in P of j in such a way that those with smaller value of Y of x values are more likely, right? So those with smaller performance, because we have to minimize the solution here, right? So what we are doing is, we are selecting those outputs which have smaller Y of x values, right? So and denote this solution as P of j plus 1. So first, initially I'm taking P of j, right? So I'm running the simulation experiment on it. Then whatever output I get, right, so that particular population of solution I'm where the output values, where the performance value of V of x, where the output performance where Y of x is less, right? So with smaller values of Y of x, I'm taking that particular set of solution and I'm calling it as P of j. Then what I will do is recombine the solutions in P of j via crossover, right? So that means I'll be combining the parts of two solutions. So I'll be taking the solution of one iteration and the next iteration, and then try to do some mutation and crossover, and finally try to get one more solution, right? So then increment the J counter and go back to step 2, right? So once again run the simulation experiments in order to obtain the output values for P of J plus 1, right? So again check whether this P of J, output of this P of J plus 1, which will be Y of X, whether it has a smaller values. If it has a smaller values, then for which and all it has a smaller value, so that particular population solution you have to make it as P of J plus 2, right? So again we have to recombine the solutions of P of J plus 2, increment the J value and go back, right? So this should be continued, and this it can be terminated. So when to terminate this, it can be terminated after a specified number of iterations. Say for example, if the problem says that you have to do for 5 iterations or 6 iterations, thus we have to repeat this for those number of iterations when little or no improvement is noted in the population, right? So or when the population contains P copies of the same solution, right? So that means we should not have any duplication, right? So we should try to obtain the population which contains the same solution. So at the end what we do is we are trying to find the solution X star that has the smallest Y of X value in the last population, which is chosen as the best one, right? So at the final step what we are doing, we are trying to obtain the optimal solution. Optimal solution X star is what? The optimal solution is the one which has the smallest output performance value, which is Y of X. This is genetic algorithm. You just have to, they will just ask you the theory part. So right, there are no problems associated with this. So if at all they ask genetic algorithm, you have to write what is the concept of the algorithm and its steps. Okay, so the next algorithm what we will be seeing today is about Tabu search algorithm, right? So the Tabu search algorithm, it basically identifies the current best solution on each iteration and then tries to improve it, right? So in the genetic algorithm what we are doing, we are taking a possible of solution, right? So in one iteration we are selecting again one set of solution, again we are doing some crossover or mutation, again we are finding one more set of solution, like that, right? So but in Tabu search algorithm what we are doing, every iteration we are taking one best solution and we are trying to improve on that particular solution, right? So for example, say the solution of x1, x2, x3 could be changed to the solution as, say for example, x1 plus 1, x2, x3 by the move of adding 1 to the first decision variable, right? So we know that what is x1? X1, it represents the number of AGVs in the MHS. X2 is nothing but the load per AGV, and x3 is the routing algorithm, right? So the neighbors of the solution X, the neighbors of the solution X are all of those solutions that can be reached by legal moves, right? So TS finds the best neighbor solution and moves to it, right? So what we are doing, first we have the input variables as x1, x2, x3, right? So we are trying to change on one variable. That means x1 value, whatever we have, I am trying to add +1 to it, right? And I am checking, right? So whether this could lead me a better result. So if it leads me a better result, what I will do, I will take the neighbors of this particular solution, right? So neighbors of solution X are all of those solutions that can be reached by legal moves, right? So the Tabu search algorithm, it tries to find the best neighbor solution and moves to it, right? So however, in order to avoid making moves that return the search to a previously visited solution, moves may become taboo for some number of iteration, right? So taboo meaning here is not usable, right? So every time we are finding the best solution for the current iteration, right? And whichever is the best solution, we are trying to capture that best solution and we are trying to see what are the neighbor solution from that particular best solution, right? So it is basically you are trying to find your way through a maze. Say for example, if you take a path that lead to dead end, then you avoid taking that particular path again, right? So that is what it means, right? Say for example, you are trying to this is the best example for Tabu search algorithm. Say you are, there is a maze here and you have the starting point and you have the ending point, right? So you have so many paths in order to go to the end, right? So you will be checking whichever path to go, right? So if you have selected that particular path, right? So the which you go, which will lead to your which will lead to your dead end, then you will avoid taking that particular path again, right? So that is the concept here. It would be taboo. Taboo means it is not usable, right? So the Tabu search algorithm, right? So basic is the basic Tabu search algorithm has 4 steps, right? So see this step. First, we have to set the iteration counter j equal to 0. So the list of unusable paths. Unusable path means unusable solutions, right? So and the list of taboo moves to empty. So now first select an initial solution x star in X. Capital X consists of so many solutions, right? For the input variables, as we know, capital X is what? Capital X is nothing but it is the set of solutions, right? So what we do here is, first we take the initial solution from a set of solutions. Then we will find the solution x dash such that minimizes y of x over all of the neighbors of x stars that are not reached by the taboo moves, right? So that means that we are trying to find one more best solution from this, taking x star as our solution, right? So we are trying to find the solution x dash, right? So that minimizes y of x, that minimizes y of x over all of the neighbors of x star, right? So we should find an optimal solution for our input, which is x, right? So that are not reached by the taboo moves, right? So running whatever solutions are needed to do the optimization. So we are first trying to find a solution x dash which is better than x star, right? So if at all my output performance of x dash is less than y of x star, right? So that means this is optimum solution, right? So y of x dash, if it is less than y of x star, then my x star will become now x dash. That means this is my current best solution, right? Update the list of taboo move and go to step 2, right? So every time what we are doing, we are taking one solution and we are trying to check all its neighbor solution and trying to find the best path, right? So the moment we get the best path, then that will be my current best solution. Again, taking that current best solution, I will try to find out which is the next best path, right? So whichever next best path I will get, so that will become my current best solution, right? So this is how taboo search algorithm works. So this can be terminated when a specified number of iterations have been completed, right? So when some number of iterations has passed without changing x star, that means every time I'm getting that as the best solution, then I have to stop it, because there will be no further feasible moves, right? So at the end, I say the solution whatever I get, x star is the best, right? So say for example, in this algorithm, so you are taking x star as your first input variable, then you will, for that you will get a solution x dash, right? So the current best solution you have got x dash. Then once again you will perform the same steps, right? So you will try to find which is the next best solution. Say next best solution is, you will get it as x double dash. Again you will take x double dash as the input, then you will try to find the next best solution. So whichever best solution you get, right? So which ways keep on repeating, that means there are no further possible moves, that means you have come to an end and this is the best path you have got. Then you have to terminate your taboo search algorithm and you will tell that whatever solution x star now I have got, that is the best solution. The next algorithm, right? So one more last algorithm we have in our 5th module is random search algorithm. So the random search algorithm, there are 4 steps under random search algorithm. So the first step is we have to initialize the counter variables, right? So here in the random search algorithm, right? So we are basically performing the searching here, right? So in this way we are making use of a counter variable, and initially I'm initializing my counter variable to 0. C of I is equal to 0 for I is equal to 1 to so on up to k. Next, what we will do, we'll select an initial solution as I naught, right? So we have some set of solutions, right? Set of possible solution. Out of those set of possible solution, I am selecting an initial solution I naught, and I am setting the counter as C of I naught equal to 1. Right? So C of I naught equal to 1, counter means you have visited that particular solution, right? So the number of times you have visited that particular solution. Then what I will do, I will choose another solution I dash from the set of all the solution except I naught. Right? So for every problem we have few possible solutions. So what we are doing is, first I am selecting an initial solution. So that particular solution, I'm taking it as the best one, right? So whatever solution I have selected first, that is my best solution, and I'm incrementing my counter as 1. That is, I have selected it or it is visited once. Then I will try to choose another solution I dash, right? So except I naught, in such a way that each solution has an equal chance of being selected. Right? So I will select one more solution which is I dash. Now I will run my simulation experiments at the 2 solution. So I had selected I naught as the first, and one more solution I have selected I dash, right? So which is not the same, both are not the same. This is different and this is different. Now I will check the output of y of I naught, and I will check the output performance of y of I dash, right? So then I will compare if y of I dash, if it is less than y of I naught. Right? So if it is less than y of I naught, that means this is the best optimal solution, right? So y of I dash, if it is less than y of I naught, then what I will do, I will set I naught as I dash. This is my best solution, which is I dash, right? So then I will increment the counter, right? So I will set C of I naught as C of I naught plus 1. right? So if it is not done, then again once again I will go back to step 2. So if done, then select as the estimated optimal solution. If you have finished finding the best optimal solution, then you will say that the best optimal solution is xi star such that c of I star is the largest count, right? So that means whichever solution has the largest counter, right? So that particular solution, the corresponding solution will be the best solution. So if at all it is a maximization problem, right? So this is for minimization, optimal solution by using minimization. Minimization means every time I'm checking for the lesser value, y of I dash is less than y naught. So if at all you have to do it for the maximization problem, what you have to do, you have to run the simulation experiment at the two solutions I naught and I dash. You have to find the outputs and you have to check whether y of I dash is greater than y of I naught, right? So then set I naught to I dash, right? So that's all is the difference between minimal solution and minimization problem and maximization problem. In minimization problem, we are finding the least possible solution as the best solution. In maximization problem, we are finding the largest value as the best solution. So let us take an example for this random search, right? So consider a manufacturing system which has 4 stations, right? There are 4 stations in a manufacturing system. The 0th station, this is a TH, the 0th station always has the raw material, right? So we are starting from 0th station, means how many stations we'll have? We'll have 0th station, 1st station, 2nd station and 3rd station. 0, 1, 2, 3, right? These are the 4 stations. So 0th station has a raw material, right? So now we have to move that particular raw material from 0th station to our 4th station, right? Our 3rd station, because 0, 1, 2, 3, these are the 4 stations in series. You can write it as a circle. Circle 0, circle 1, circle 2 and circle 3. These are the 4 stations what we have. And 0th station has a raw material. So when 0th station completes work on its part, what it will do? It will pass that particular work along the first station, right? So that means the raw materials are transformed from 0th station to first station, and again first station to second station to third station. Like that the raw materials are moving, right? So the buffer space between 0 and 1, between 0th and 1th station, we have a buffer space. Buffer space means the space where I can store the raw material, right? And the buffer space between 1 to 2, the space to store the raw material between first station to the second station. And the space between the second and third station, it is limited to 50 parts, right? So that means I can store only 50 parts, right? So in that particular space, that means there is a space only to store 50 products, right? So from 50 products. So if say station 2 finishes a part, right, but there is no space available in front of station 3, right? So then station 2 is blocked, right? So for example, the raw material is moving from 0th station to 1th station, okay? Then from 1th station, it will be transferred to the second station. Now second station has finished its part, right? And there is no buffer space, right? So there is no buffer space, right? So it is limited to 50 parts in total, right? Total means the buffer space between 0 and 1, 1 to 2 and 2 and 3, right? So totally it is 50. The total space is 50, right? So now we don't know exactly what is the buffer space between 0 and 1, right? So what happens is the 0th station completes its work and it sees whether it has a buffer, right? Say for example, it has a 10 buffer space of 10, means so it will put the raw material, whatever the product, right, the resultant after the process, it will put it into that particular buffer which can be used by the 1th station, right? So like that we are doing. Say for example, station 2 finishes a part, right? So it has finished manufacturing a part, but there is no buffer space available in front of station 3. And then what happens if there is no space here, right, and it is full, the buffer is full, means there is no space for it to produce. Then what happens? Station 2 will be blocked, right? So meaning that it cannot do further work, right? So the question is how efficiently you can allocate these 50 spaces, right, so that to minimize the expected cycle time per part over one shift, right? So we have to allocate this 50 buffer space in such a way that I have to minimize the expected cycle time, right? So expected cycle time per part. So for every cycle, 0 to 1 is one cycle, 1 to 2, right, again 2 to 3, it is moving, right? So we have to minimize the cycle time, right, per part over one shift, right? So how we have to do this, right? So for example, consider the solution. Let xi denote the number of buffer spaces in front of station I. That means in front of station 0, I have some buffer spaces which are considered as I. Then the decision variables are what? X1, X2, X3, right? So because between 0 to 1 there is a buffer space, so I will take it as X1. 1 to 2 there is a buffer space, I will take it as X2. 2 to 3 there is a buffer space, I will take it as X3, right? So 0 to 1, one buffer space X1 plus 1 to 2, there is a buffer space which is x2, right? So again 2 to 3, there is a buffer space which is considered as x3, right? So and the total constraint is what? The total buffer space is 50, right? So x1 plus x2 plus x3 should be equal to 50. Now in order to simplify the presentation of this random search algorithm, right? So let the counter for the solution, right? That we will take the counter for solution as c of x1 comma x2 comma x3, right? So now what we will do is, what is the first step of random search algorithm? We have to initialize the counter variable, right? So initialize the counter variable as 0. I will take c of x1 comma x2 comma x3 as 0, one for each of the possible solution, right? So as I have told, x1 is nothing but the buffer space between 0th and 1th station, x2 is the buffer space between 1th and 2nd station, and x3 is the buffer space between 2nd and 3rd station. Okay, next select an initial stage solution, right? So randomly I'm selecting, right? Because 50 I can make it as 20, 15, 15 is also 50, 11, 35, 4 is also 50, 20, some other number, right? 28, 12, 10 is also 50, right? So total buffer space should be 50, right? So all these values are random. Randomly I'm selecting one solution as out of the possible solution, out of the possible solutions of x1, x2, x3, such that the addition of them should be 50, right? So out of those possible solution, initial solution here in this example, we are taking it as, let x1 equal to 20, x2 is 15, x3 is 15, right? And what I will do, I will set the counter value, because this is selected once, right? So I will set the counter value as 20 comma 15 comma 15 is equal to 1, right? So next second step is, I have to choose another solution from the set of all the possible solutions except 20, 15 and 15 in such a way that each solution has an equal chance of being selected, right? So out of the possible solutions, what I will do now, this is already selected, I will take one more solution. So one more solution is, say for example 11, 35, 4 is chosen. Now what I have to do, I have to run the simulation experiments, right? And I have to obtain the estimates of the expected cycle time, right? So because here I have to select a solution in such a way that I will get the minimum cycle time, right? So I will, that means it should be faster, it should not be blocked. That is what it means, right? So minimum cycle time I have to get, right? So what I will do, I will compare the output performance. I will run the simulation using this particular values. I will find the output performance of y of 20, 15, 15 and y of 11, 35, 4. If at all y of 20, 15, 15 is less than 11, 35, 4, then I will say 20, 15, 15 is the current good solution. If at all it is lesser, then I will say it is the current good solution. Then what I have to do, I have to increment this counter as 1. That means this is the best solution, right? This is the best solution. Now what, once again what we have to do, we have to choose another solution from the set of all the solution except this solution. 20, 15, 15 we should not select, right? So except this, and 11, 35, 4 also we should not select, because it is already been checked here, right? So out of this these two, we have to select one more solution, right? So let us select 28 to 12, 10 as one more solution. Now again I'll compare 20, 15, 15, right? Output performance of 20, 15, 15 to 28, 12 and 10. If at all the output performance of this particular solution is lesser than the next solution, right? So here we are comparing, right, the 28, 12, 10 with 20, 15, 15, right? So we got it as 28, 12, 10 is less than 20, 15, 15, means the current best solution is 28, 12, 10. This is the current best solution. So what I will do, I will increment the counter value for 28, 12, 10 as 1, right? So like this way, every time we get a best solution, right? So we'll be incrementing the counter value, and the one which has the largest counter value, that will be the best solution for the given problem, right? So the same way I will choose another solution from the set of all the solution except this 28, 12, 10, right? Say for example I have selected 0, 14, 36. Now again I will check whether this is better or this is better, right? So whichever is better, I will increment the counter, right? Say for example, once again I will get 28, 12, 10 is better than this particular solution. That means I will increment the counter becomes 2 now, right? So out of the possible solution, so which particular solution has the counter value 2? The counter value for 28, 12, 10 has the largest counter, right? So when the search is terminated, we will select the solution which gives the largest counter value, right? So that is the best possible solution which will the best possible solution which will minimize the expected cycle time, right? So like this we will perform the problems on random search algorithm, right? So in our fifth module we don't have any problems, we'll have only theory part, right? So and theory questions are very simple. The first question will be on explain the iterative process of calibrating a model. This will be the most frequently asked question, right? So else This is very, very important. They will ask, explain the Naylor and Finger approach, right, in order to calibrate and validate a model. So you have to explain all the three steps for high phase validity, validating model assumption, and modeling input and output transformation, comparing the model input output transformation to the corresponding input output transformation. This is repeatedly asked exam question. So apart from this, they will ask about write a note on optimization via simulation, right? So optimization via simulation, if they ask, you have to explain what is optimization of via simulation, and you have to write an example of material handling system, right? So then they will ask, explain the different algorithms that are used for optimization via simulation, right? So when they ask different algorithms, you have to talk about all the algorithms, right? Or else they will ask, write a note on genetic algorithms, taboo search algorithms, and random search algorithm. So you have to remember all these steps. Genetic algorithm works on population of solutions, right? So taboo search algorithm, we are having the, we'll select one solution, right? So we'll select which in the neighbor, which is the current best solution, right? So every time we are checking which is the current best path, right? So whichever is not the best path, that I'm moving to a list which is called as a taboo. Taboo means unusable solution, right? So the one which is not good, right? So which is not usable, right? So no, not usable solutions will be pushed to a list. That list we call it as the taboo. Next, finally, we have random search algorithm. Here, whichever solution will have the largest counter value, that will be selected as the best solution. So these are the repeatedly asked exam question. So this completes your fifth module on simulation. Thank you.